Deliberations began Tuesday in Karen Reed's high-profile murder trial at Norfolk Superior Court in Dedham, Massachusetts. The defense argued during closing statements that Reed is the victim of an elaborate cover-up, while the prosecution urged jurors to follow the evidence and Reed's own words. Both sides were given 1 hour to present their final arguments. Prosecution's case. Prosecutor Adam Lally opened his closing argument by quoting witness testimony that Reed allegedly said, "I hit him 4 times on the morning of January 29, 2022, when O'Keefe's body was found." Lally emphasized Reed's behavior, noting that she made numerous calls and texts but did not call 911 when O'Keefe went missing. He also addressed the unprofessional conduct of Trooper Michael Proctor, who sent derogatory text messages about Reed, but argued that these messages did not affect the integrity of the investigation. Lally highlighted the little things, such as Reed's response to a call from O'Keefe's sister-in-law Erin O'Keefe, where she indicated she might never see the family again. He urged jurors to consider these details and find Reed guilty. Defense's case. Defense attorney Alan Jackson began his closing argument by asserting that there was a clear cover-up involving destroyed and planted evidence. He argued that the prosecution's case was laughable and that there was no evidence that Reed's SUV hit O'Keefe. Jackson claimed that O'Keefe's injuries were consistent with a fight, not a vehicle strike, and suggested that Brian Albert and Brian Higgins were responsible for O'Keefe's death during a fight, followed by an attempted cover-up. Jackson pointed out inconsistencies in the prosecution's narrative, noting the lack of significant injuries that would indicate a vehicle strike and highlighting alleged actions of Albert and Higgins on the night of O'Keefe's death. Jury deliberations. After the judge's instructions, the jury began deliberations around 1 p.m. on Tuesday, following nearly 2 months of testimony. By the end of the day, after about 3 hours of deliberations, no verdict had been reached. The jury consists of 6 men and 6 women, with 2 women serving as alternates. Case background. Reed is charged with second-degree murder in the death of her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe. She has pleaded not guilty. The prosecution claims Reed hit O'Keefe with her Lexus SUV outside a home in Canton and left him to die in a snowstorm. The defense argues that O'Keefe was beaten to death inside the home, bitten by a dog, and then dumped in the front yard. Trial highlights. Prosecution's key point: Reed's alleged admission of guilt and failure to call 911. Defense's key point: claims of an elaborate cover-up and lack of evidence supporting the vehicle strike theory. The jury of 14 was reduced to 12 for deliberations, with 2 women selected as alternates. Media and public reaction. A significant crowd of Free Karen Reed supporters gathered outside the courthouse. The trial has garnered substantial media attention, with Reed expressing anticipation rather than nerves while waiting for the verdict. Key figures. Prosecutor, Adam Lally from the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. Defense attorneys, Alan Jackson, David Yannetti, and Elizabeth Little. Victim, John O'Keefe, a Boston police officer. Accused, Karen Reed, charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter while operating under the influence of alcohol, and leaving the scene of personal injury and death.